I was half awake when they rolled me into the operating room, and that's when I saw him. The lead surgeon looked straight into my eyes. My blood went cold, because the man standing over me looked exactly like my husband, the same husband who died 7 years ago. I told myself it was impossible, a coincidence, a face that only resembled him, until the nurse beside him called his last name, and everything collapsed. But before I tell you what actually happened, please like and subscribe if the story earns it and makes your day. Now, let's begin. Everything went dark the moment I collapsed. 1 minute, I was at work, answering emails. The next, pain shot through my stomach so suddenly that I couldn't breathe. People shouting, someone calling an ambulance, then flashing lights above me as I was rushed to the hospital. Everything moved fast after that. Doctors spoke in urgent voices. Papers were pushed toward me. Someone said I needed emergency surgery immediately. I barely had time to think. They rolled my bed down a long hallway toward the operating room. The ceiling lights passed one by one above my head. My body felt heavy as anesthesia slowly entered my veins. I remember thinking only one thing. I hope I wake up. The operating room doors opened. Cold air touched my skin. Machines beeped steadily around me. Staff moved with practiced speed. And then the lead surgeon stepped into my view. He leaned over me, and my world stopped. I knew that face. The sharp jawline, the small scar near his chin, the calm eyes I had memorized years ago. My heart began racing because the man standing over me looked exactly like my husband, Daniel, the man who died 7 years ago. I blinked hard, trying to clear my vision. This had to be the anesthesia. Grief playing tricks on me. Daniel had died in a construction accident overseas. There had been official reports, legal documents, and a funeral. I buried him. I mourned him. I rebuilt my life after losing him. Yet here he was, alive, standing over me, holding surgical tools. I tried to speak, but my mouth barely moved. Daniel? The surgeon avoided my eyes, like he didn't recognize me, like I meant nothing to him. Then a nurse beside him checked the chart and spoke clearly. "We're ready, Dr. Hale." Hale. My husband's last name before we married. The room spun. That name hadn't been used in years. The surgeon froze for just a fraction of a second. His fingers tightened slightly. He heard it. He knew. Before I could understand anything else, darkness swallowed me as the anesthesia finally pulled me under. When I woke up, sunlight filled a quiet recovery room. My body felt weak, but alive. For a few seconds, everything felt normal. Then memory rushed back. I sat up suddenly. "The surgeon," I asked the nurse who entered. "Who operated on me?" She checked my file. "Dr. Adrian Hale, one of our best surgeons." My hands started shaking. "Can I see him?" "He left the hospital this morning." Left. Just like that. Like a ghost disappearing again. I stared at the door long after she walked out. Either I was losing my mind, or my dead husband had just performed my surgery. That night, sleep refused to come. Questions circled endlessly. Why would Daniel fake his death? Why change his identity? Why pretend not to know me? And most terrifying of all, why had fate brought him back into my life now? The next morning, I received a visitor I wasn't expecting. A man in a dark suit stood quietly near my bed. He showed a badge. Not hospital staff. Not police. Something else. He looked at me carefully and said, "Mrs. Carter, you weren't supposed to recognize the surgeon." My stomach dropped, because in that moment, I realized Daniel hadn't just disappeared. He had been hiding, and I had just exposed him. The man in the suit closed the door quietly behind him. The soft click echoed through the room. My heart started racing again. "Who are you?" I asked. He didn't sit. He stayed standing, watching me carefully like he was studying every reaction on my face. "My name is Mr. Reeves," he said calmly. "I work with the Federal Security Division." "Security Division?" My confusion deepened. "What does that have to do with my husband?" I whispered. He paused before answering. "That surgeon you saw is living under a protected identity." My hands tightened around the bedsheet. "So it was him," I said. "Daniel is alive!" Mr. Reeves exhaled slowly. "Yes." The word hit harder than anything else. 7 years of grief collapsed in a single second. All those nights crying, all those birthdays spent alone, all the healing I forced myself through. A lie. "He let me believe he was dead," I said, my voice shaking. "Why?" The man finally pulled a chair closer and sat down. "7 years ago," he began, "your husband uncovered financial crimes connected to a powerful criminal network. He wasn't just working construction overseas, he was secretly helping investigators." My mind struggled to catch up. Daniel had never told me anything about that. "He became a key witness," Reeves continued. "The organization discovered his involvement. His life was in immediate danger." I felt cold. "So you faked his death?" "Yes. It was the only way to protect him and you." The room felt smaller. Every memory of that funeral replayed in my mind. The closed coffin, the rushed ceremony, the officials telling me there was nothing left to see. It had all been planned. "He couldn't contact you," Reeves added gently. "Anyone connected to him became a potential target." Anger mixed with heartbreak inside me. "So he erased me?" "He saved your life," Reeves corrected quietly. I didn't know whether to cry or scream. "And now?" I asked. "Why is he here? Why become a surgeon?" "The case ended 2 years ago," Reeves said. "Your husband built a new identity, a new career. He believed the danger was over." Then his expression grew serious. "Until yesterday." My stomach tightened. "What happened yesterday?" "He recognized you," he said simply. Silence filled the room. "That alone wouldn't matter," he continued, "but hospital surveillance recorded your reaction. Someone monitoring old case connections flagged it." Fear crept up my spine. "You mean the people who wanted him dead?" Reeves nodded slightly. "They may now know he's alive." The air left my lungs. "This is my fault," I whispered. "No," he said firmly. "You couldn't have known." My thoughts raced. Daniel had saved my life during surgery, knowing recognition could expose him, which meant one thing. He had chosen to risk everything for me. "Where is he now?" I asked urgently. Reeves hesitated. "He's already been relocated." Of course he had. Running again, always disappearing. Tears burned my eyes. 7 years apart, and I lost him again within hours. Before I could speak, the hospital hallway suddenly filled with loud voices. Footsteps, fast, heavy. Reeves stood immediately. His posture changed from calm to alert. "That's not hospital staff," he murmured. My heart pounded. The door handle moved slightly. Someone trying to open it. Reeves quickly stepped towards me. "Listen carefully. If anyone asks, you never recognize Dr. Hale." The handle turned harder. Voices whispered outside. Reeves lowered his voice. "They found him faster than we expected." Fear flooded my chest, because at that moment, I understood something terrifying. Daniel hadn't come back into my life by accident. He came back because I was in danger. And now, whoever forced him to disappear 7 years ago was coming for us both. The hospital hallway grew louder. Footsteps rushed past my door. Voices spoke urgently into radios. Mr. Reeves moved toward the entrance, listening carefully. "Stay calm," he whispered. But calm was impossible. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. The door suddenly opened. 2 security officers stepped inside. Not doctors, not nurses. Their eyes scanned the room quickly. Reeves showed his badge. After a short, tense moment, they nodded and stepped back outside. "They're sweeping the floor," Reeves explained quietly. "We received a threat alert." A threat? Because of me? Because I recognized Daniel? I wrapped my arms around myself, trying to stop shaking. Is he safe? I asked. Reeves didn't answer immediately, and that silence scared me more than anything. Before he could speak, another voice came from the doorway. Calm, familiar, a voice I had replayed in my memories for 7 years. He's safe. I turned, and my breath stopped. Daniel stood there. No surgical mask, no distance, just him. Older, a little tired, but unmistakably real. For a moment, neither of us moved. 7 years of grief, anger, love, and unanswered questions filled the space between us. "You're alive," I whispered. His eyes softened. I never stopped being alive. I just wasn't allowed to exist. Tears blurred my vision. "You let me believe you were dead." Pain crossed his face. "I watched your life from afar," he admitted quietly. "Every birthday, every holiday. I wanted to come back 1,000 times, but if they found me, they would have come after you." I understood then. Every lonely year had also been a sacrifice. He stepped closer carefully, like he wasn't sure he was allowed. "When I saw your name on the emergency surgery list yesterday," he said, "I broke protocol. I requested the case immediately." "You risked everything," I said. He nodded. "I wasn't going to lose you twice." Silence settled between us. All the anger I thought I would feel slowly faded, replaced by something stronger. Relief. He was here, alive. Reeves cleared his throat gently. "We don't have much time. The criminal group that targeted Daniel learned someone connected to his old identity appeared in hospital records. They're trying to confirm if he survived." Daniel turned serious again. "But this time," he said, "they made a mistake." I frowned. "What do you mean?" Reeves smiled slightly. "For 7 years, we gathered evidence quietly. The moment they resurfaced searching for him, they exposed themselves." Understanding dawned slowly. "They walked into a trap," I said. Daniel nodded. "This morning," Reeves added, "multiple arrests were made. The network is finished." The danger was finally over. 7 years of hiding, 7 years of fear. Finished. I looked back at Daniel, still afraid he might disappear again. "So, no more running?" I asked softly. He shook his head. "No more lies, no more fake names." He hesitated before reaching for my hand. "If you'll let me, I want to come home." Emotion rose in my chest. 7 years ago, I buried my husband. Today, I got him back. I squeezed his hand. "You never stopped being my home," I said. For the first time since entering that hospital, I felt safe. Outside, the sun shone through the window, not like an ending, like a second beginning. Because sometimes the person you mourn isn't gone. They were fighting in the shadows, waiting for the day they could finally return to you.